What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Victor Wembanyama, Victor Wembanyama, Victor Wembanyama. I will be covering this young man for the entirety of the season and probably for, the length of his career as long as I'm still doing YouTube. But he's an interesting specimen for obvious reasons. But I had some concerns prior to the draft lottery on God, right here on this channel. I made episodes about it before the lottery, saying how I would be very concerned if the San Antonio Spurs got the number one pick, thus drafting Victor Wembanyama, because I know the kind of play style Popovich runs, and I know how Popovich tends to bottle up star players and individually kind of puts a cap on their potential, trying to overcompensate sometimes for a team aspect instead of sometimes finding a great balance. Now, it worked out great for Tim Duncan, but not so much for the other stars he had a hold of. There has been other players that have openly had words for Greg Popovich and were disgruntled because they constantly felt like Pop was holding them back from being themselves and maximizing their potential. Not that they were trying to step outside of the team concept, but they could do more inside of that concept, if that makes sense. So I had concerns and had fears about that. You can go look it up right here on YouTube. These videos exist. I did at least 2 of them, I think. Victor Wembanyama is averaging just south of 20 points per game, shooting 43-ish% from the field, 27.5% from three-point land. Disgusting. 9.5 rebounds, just over 2.5 assists, just over 2.5 blocks, and a little over 1 steal. All right. Not the best numbers. I mean, good for a rookie, don't get me wrong, but thinking about who this guy is, and for him to be 7'4", 7'5", the percentages should be better considering his size. Now, this isn't all on Victor Wembanyama, and I think there are a couple things at play that are hampering Victor Wembanyama's production, and why, to me, he doesn't look as good as he should be looking, or as good as I know that he can look when I'm watching him play. And the 3 things that have a factor in this are teammates, Wembanyama himself, and Greg Popovich. All 3 of these are playing a factor into why Wemby doesn't look as good as he should, in my opinion. And I understand he's a rookie. But given his talent and his size and what I've seen him do, playing with other grown men in another league, he could be doing more. Or he could be doing better. Well, I guess more and better. All right. So let's start with the teammates. Simply, I feel like the other San Antonio Spurs, and this is a young team from top to bottom, they are not looking for Victor Wembanyama consistently enough. I can't tell you how many plays I have watched, and they're just not looking for the guy. They're not. And I also feel like because they're a bunch of young players, some of them are trying to stake their claim, their own personal claim, as well. And that may be part of why they aren't looking for him and finding him at the same time. There are times where I see these teammates completely miss, whether it's purposely or not, completely miss Wemby when he's near the basket, waiting for a pass, and he's up there like this, and they're not getting him the ball. Or when they see him, it's too late. The help defenders are already sliding over, or their attention has already swayed the other way. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And I'm looking, I was like, get him the ball. What are you doing? What are you doing? There are times where Victor Wembanyama does roll to the basket in those pick scenarios, and he can be found with an easy high pass or an occasional bounce pass, and they don't put the ball where it needs to be. That has happened quite a few times. So I definitely think the players have something to do with it. Also, the San Antonio Spurs lack a very solid playmaker. Somebody that can orchestrate the offense from a point guard's perspective. Put the rock right where it needs to be. They don't have that kind of player, at least right now. But the players need to look for Wembanyama. They need to understand who the best player on the team is, and that the offense will run through him. And once they understand that, I think you'll see a lot more fluidity on the offensive end. And they should be better from it. And Victor Wembanyama should be better from it. The next thing is Wemby himself. And he can do things differently to help aid this problem that I have identified. I feel is a problem anyway. First thing with Victor Wembanyama is fighting for post position. Now, obviously, he's the tallest guy on the floor practically every game. I guess every game, he's the tallest guy on the floor. Okay? Nobody comes close to him. But what I have seen is that he just doesn't have the strength yet. And that'll come with time. That'll come in some years. He'll put on the appropriate amount of muscle mass added to his body, and he'll be stronger in the legs, stronger in the core. Well, he'll be able to effectively tussle for those post positions effectively and, get the position on his defender. All right? But in times where he does get post position, what do you do when you have post position? Now, there's something else I would like to add. It is when you're playing basketball, it is much harder to get post position on your defender when you already have the basketball in your hand. Once you have the basketball in your hand, then obviously more attention is drawn to you. The defenses get tighter. There's a body on you, maybe two bodies on you, but the main body on you is going to have a forearm on your back. His chest is going to be pressed up against your back. He's going to be squatted down. He's going to be in defensive position, and he's going to be putting his body weight on you because now you have the basketball, and he does not want you to get any closer to the hoop. Right? And right now, Wemby doesn't have the strength to combat that. I've seen him have problems posting up or backing down players that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". I mean, hell, even a 7-footer is giving up 4 or 5 inches to Wemby. Let alone somebody that's giving up, a whole foot and some change. Now, how you get around that is getting position before you get the basketball. Getting position before you get the basketball is much easier than when you have the basketball in your hand. The defense isn't going to be as tough. It's not going to be pressed on you as much. And you can even sometimes just weasel your way in where you need to be in open areas. And the closer Wemby gets to the basket to start lobbying for a post position without the basketball, the better position he'll be in. It's simple as that. It's very simple as that. You can easily spin off your man, use your feet to get a different angle, to get a little bit deeper. There's so much more maneuverability without the basketball. Now, once you've established that post position without the basketball, put your hand up, call for the ball. Now you get the ball dumped into you. Now you're already where you want to be, and you can go into your move. So moving without the basketball, getting post position without the basketball. And even if you have to repost, catch it, throw it back out, get resituated, repost real quick, and get it dumped right back into you, you're good. All right? Now, like I said, what do you do when you have that post position? That's one scenario I just said. Now, depending on where he is, I've seen him like anywhere inside the key, middle of the key, middle sideline in the key there, where he gets the ball, and I just feel like he doesn't always know what to do with it. Now, obviously, it's easy for me to say I'm watching. I get it. But that's what I'm supposed to do. Sit here, watch, commentate, right? I can't tell you how many times I've seen Victor Wembanyama try to get post position, try to get deep, wasn't able to get too deep, but still got the ball dumped into him somewhere in the paint, midway up to the free throw line. And the minute he gets the ball, most teams are quickly sending a second or third defender at him. They don't even want to give him a chance to do anything. I get it. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But Victor, here's the thing. Often what I see Victor Wembanyama do, he'll get the ball. The minute he sees another player coming towards him or they get to him, he immediately just throws the basketball back out to the defender or to the offensive player that was left, hoping they'll recover. Now, if that happens, it's on the other guy, too, to make sure they get him the ball back, which they really don't. But at the same time, what Victor Wembanyama could do is not panic in those situations. Considering how tall he is, when he gets the ball, all he has to do is keep the ball up high. Strong, both hands, keep it up high. Nobody's going to get that ball from him. You can fake, especially if they got shooters on the arc. You can fake a pass back out to one of those open shooters whose defender is cheating or leaving him to double team Wemby. And a lot of times that'll get that defender to turn around or even run back to the guy on the arc, anticipating that you're going to send the ball back out there. Now Wemby can go to work. I don't really see him do that. Fake the pass out. Control the double team yourself. That's something that he can add to his game. Also, anticipating the double team, the minute you get that ball, survey the floor prior, obviously. Understand where the help defense is likely going to come, but go straight into your move. No time wasted, go straight into your move. And if you get halted, fine. Take the next best course of action. But don't wait for the double team, and don't buckle up if you get hit with the double team. You're so tall, you can raise your hands high. Nobody's really going to intercept the ball or get the ball from you. Also, I think Victor Wembanyama could really benefit by developing a little bit of a sky hook. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but given his height and seeing where he tends to be when he is in the paint, getting a little sky hook or baby hook in his arsenal would be extremely lethal, especially at his height, especially with his wingspan. Could you imagine? I know he has a little fadeaway jumper, but I haven't seen him utilize it as much as he's utilized it back in the European League, playing for France. Next thing, scoring off rebounds, especially if they're not long rebounds. Victor Wembanyama, if you get that ball around the basket, I want you to back up with it every single time. Screw passing it back out, because I'm not sure if these guys are going to get you the ball back. Hey, you are long enough, you are tall enough. And I don't know how, but see, the league has changed so much. They don't teach big men the fundamentals that they should know. The fundamentals that big men were taught back when big men had more of a priority in the league. And they should still have that today. If Nikola Jokic has showed anybody anything, you know. When you get the rebound as a big man, especially at Wemby's height, don't get the rebound and go back down up with it to gather yourself just to go back up. That's where all those little guys, those guys smaller than you, he's just going to slap the ball down, get a hand on the ball. You get that rebound, you keep that ball high. Don't bring it all the way back down. Don't. Keep the ball high and go right back up with it. Victor Wembanyama probably doesn't even have to jump to dunk the basketball. Probably could do it off his tippy toes. Just keep the ball high and go right back up with it. That would benefit him a lot. But at the same time, I don't feel like he's in the paint enough, because lots of times he's scoping the perimeter, because that's where they have him out there shooting. So he's not always there to get all the rebounds. That has to change. All right. Another thing I want to see from Victor Wembanyama is in these pick and rolls, which I did say they do be missing him sometimes. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of times, instead of pick and rolling, I see him pick and popping to the three-point line. Now, if he was a sharp shooter, by all means, keep popping, baby. But he's not. As of right now, he's shooting 27.5% from three-point land. And when he's popping out to the three-point line, people aren't even guarding him half the time. He's wide open. And they're not running out to contest a shot either. They're just letting him shoot. And he's bricking. Backboard, back iron. Some of them in and out. But they ain't going in with regularity. There's a reason why these guys are giving you that shot. They want you to take it. Don't feed into that. You're too special. You're too talented. You're too damn big. You're too damn long to feed into that. Score the way you score efficiently. Score your way. Don't always give what don't always take what the defense gives you, because that doesn't mean it's the only solution. As of right now, I also feel like Wemby's a bit of a underwhelming rebounder. I think he should definitely be at least 10.5 rebounds per game. And I know he's at 9.5. Maybe I'm being a little bit too picky, but considering how often this guy is out on the perimeter when there's opportunities for rebounds on the offensive end, I'm actually surprised he's getting 9.5 rebounds, because there's times I was like, Wemby's out of the three-point line, when he's not in the paint, Wemby's not in the paint, there's a rebound available, Wemby's not in the paint. But as soon as they can get him closer to the basket for the bulk of his shots and where he's looking to get his shots, those rebounds are going to go up significantly. So I definitely think that'll get better with time. But given his height, 7'4", 7'5", he definitely needs to be a better rebounder. And rebounds impact basketball games, especially offensive rebounds. They secure the possession. All right? Another thing Victor Wembanyama needs to do, he needs to get in his teammates' faces. Get in their faces. I seen him do this once earlier this week. I don't know what he was saying to the guy, but he got in his face, which I was happy to see, his teammate. But you got to get in their faces. You got to demand the basketball. Know your talent. Know who the hell you are. Know who the hell you are and how you can impact the game. These guys need to know who the hell you are, and they need to get you the basketball. And as the leader, as the best player on that team, you got to let these people know, hey, it goes through me, baby. You got to find me, baby. Facts. Now, where Greg Popovich comes into all this. The great Greg Popovich. One of the greatest coaches of all time. I think Pop, overall, to me, and who am I to question Greg Popovich, right? I don't know nearly as much basketball as he does. I understand that. But that doesn't mean doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. But anyway, I think he's not utilizing Wembanyama most effectively. I don't know what Greg Popovich's plan is. I don't know what his short-term plan is. I don't know what his long-term plan is. I don't know. I don't know if what we've been seeing is part of his plan. I don't know if they're just not executing what he wants them to do properly. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. I have to assume what we're seeing is something close or exactly what Pop is scheming. All right? Like I said, Victor Wembanyama needs to get into these guys' faces and let them know who the hell he is. Popovich needs to make Victor Wembanyama the focal point. They need to look for him more. And it's on the coach as well to let these other players know Wemby is the focal point. We need to look for him. The offense needs to run through him. Not saying just for him to score, but to get the cogs rolling and get the offense running smoothly through him. Greg Popovich also needs to run sets that get Wemby closer to the basket before the entry pass, like I said earlier. He's not strong enough right now with the ball in his hand to move many players. But Greg Popovich, pull out your clipboard, run some sets, study these sets, have the players study these sets to help Wembanyama get a good position closer to the basket for the entry pass. This is on Greg Popovich to enforce that and to make sure these kind of things are being ran. Greg Popovich, a guy that said just a couple years ago he's sad at how the NBA, he doesn't like how the NBA is played right now. He's not a fan of it. And he understands that the game is growing, but he said the beauty of the game is lost. And I completely agree with that. But what I'm advising you to do, pulling out that clipboard, working the post entry pass, running players around him, hey, that's how a lot of teams used to play back in the day. Back when there were unique playing styles from team to team to team. Popovich has to let these guys know that Wemby cannot go extended minutes without getting looks or quality looks. I can tell you how many times I'm seeing like a stretch of 6-7 minutes and like he's not even getting any looks. He's not even a focal point. He's not even being looked at. Pop, you got to call a timeout or yell from the sideline, get Wemby the basketball. Wemby, get aggressive. They also need to make sure they're developing Wemby's strength accordingly. Now, I'm pretty sure they're doing that. I have no doubt about that. That takes time. That's months and months and months, a year, 2-3 years of training before, he gets inside the body that he wants to get in for his size to optimize his strength at his size. So that's going to take time. I understand that. But I hope they're also working on his repertoire of moves. Like I said, get him a little baby hook. Get him a sky hook. Teach him about that. Teach him the fundamentals. Get him closer to the basket. Teach him to keep the ball high when he gets the pass. Especially off the rebound. Keep the ball high. Get back up with it. Use your footwork. Work on your pivot feet some more. Learn how to disrupt defenses or throw defenses off with body movement, body gesture, things like that. He has the ability to do all this stuff. I know he can do it. Work on his move set. Work on his skill set. The little things is just what you need to free yourself up and give you an easier look at the basket or find another man, whatever the case may be. It'll put you in a better position. More time with the ball in his hands as he matures will basically benefit him, and it's going to benefit the team as a whole. It will. It will. And I understand he's a rookie right now, but a lot of these things I said can be implemented now, or I hope to see start getting implemented at some point in the season. But like I said, I don't know what Greg Popovich's plan is with this guy. But these are just things I've observed and I think could definitely improve the situation and improve on Wemby, because I think what we're seeing right now is not the best version of himself available. He can be better. I do believe that. And the sky's the limit for this guy. All the potential in the world. But he's going to have to get better, and he will. But I think the other things around him have to do better by Victor Wembanyama. That's my take. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I would love to hear your opinion, as I always do. Shout out to Wemby. Want to see this guy succeed. Want him to be the best player he can be. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. Check out our Victor Wembanyama playlist. We out, baby.